I'm getting whiplash from this. Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 16th episode of the show Power Rangers The Lost Galaxy, as well as the 309th episode overall, titled Destined for Greatness. We start this episode in the dorm where Leo is giving a toss to Mike with coffee, I guess. Mike also seems sad for some reason, and then he just gets up and grabs the Magna Defender's sword, saying he only survived because of this dude. Alright. Mike then just explains how the Magna Defender saved him. We saw all of this last episode. Also, oh my god, Zika dies again, guys. They can't let it go. He gives a toast to the spirit of the Magna Defender. Then Leo gives Mike back his dog tags, and he asks what happened to them. And Leo says it's a long story. I mean, not really, he just got shot at. Mike asks how he's going to explain where he's been, which is valid. I want to know what he's going to do. On the Scorpion Stinger, Drakeena gets pissed that Scorpius won't let her fight the Rangers. Scorpius keeps saying no, bringing out a new monster, Skelecron, revealing his ancient Skelecron warriors, which are little dolls. They will take the Rangers' abilities and use them against them. Drakeena is so over this. Leo is sad, looking at his Quasar Saber with sadness in a sad way. Kendrix drives her car up and she calls for Leo. She asks what he's doing and he says he's thinking, waiting for Mike. She's confused as to why he's not overjoyed, but Leo says it's just... And Kendrix immediately knows that he's confused as to whether or not he should keep the saber. He explains that Mike was chosen, not him. Mike shows up and he and Leo walk away. And Mike is picking flowers, saying he's not going to take life for granted anymore. And the Magna Defender gave him a second chance. He's going to make his life important. So many lies here. Anyways, Leo starts to say something, but Alpha beeps, saying that there's trouble at the plaza. We see the Rangers there fighting Stingwingers while Skelecron watches. Mike and Leo show up and they start an unmorphed fight against the Stingwingers. Skelecron stops the Rangers from helping them, turning them into tiny mirrors. Or like putting them in them? I don't really know. Leo and Mike see and they roll away, hiding, but then Skelecron targets Leo, hitting him in the arm real good. Mike flips over, grabbing Leo and making them run away. Skelecron yells after them, saying that he's going to use their friends to kill them. He looks to the other Rangers. In the dorm, Mike helps Leo sit down, going for a med kit. Leo yells at Mike about how they left, and Mike starts patching him up, saying that they didn't really have a choice there. Mike then reveals that he left a dog tag on a Stingwinger because it's some sort of alloy that they can track? Apparently? What? In the warehouse, the Ranger mirrors are then placed on an altar, and then they put the Skelecron warrior dolls in front of them, going to transfer their powers or whatever. Skelecron also sees the dog tag on the Stingwinger, pissed off, and then we see Mike and Leo have found them somehow, heading out. Skelecron says they need to hurry because the other two will be here soon. And then we see a Skelecron warrior come to life, and it's fucking hilarious. Leo and Mike are running nearby looking, and here comes the tiny Skelecron warrior doll, who then becomes human-sized, and Leo and Mike fight him off, completely dismantling it. Does that mean Kendrix is dead now? Mike is like, they know we're coming. No shit, Sherlock. The next Skelecron warrior jumps them in an alleyway, and Leo does well to fend it off, but he uses the Quasar Saber to deflect a blast, hitting it down and dropping the saber. Mike gets the saber, going to give it to Leo, but Leo refuses, saying Mike should be the Red Ranger actually, not him. Mike says the saber shares his heart and soul, not Mike's. Mike suggests that maybe his destiny was to pull it out of the stone for Leo. Then the Skelecron warrior comes alive again, and Leo catches the saber from Mike, killing the warrior. I guess this makes Leo feel great. I mean, you've been the Red Ranger for a while. Why is this weird? Destiny doesn't really make mistakes or whatever. The two run off and we see green and blue transfer into the Skelecron warrior dolls, making them come to life. They start to leave the warehouse, but Leo and Mike run in, taking on Stingwingers and the Skelecron warriors. If your warriors are being defeated by unmorphed dudes, one of who isn't even a ranger, your warriors suck. Leo then takes on Skelecron himself, and his saber powers up and he does his own special attack that we've only ever seen him do in suit, which is pretty cool. This shatters one of Skelecron's mirrors, and it releases the other four rangers who are unmorphed and okay. The six face off with Skelecron, who talks shit. Leo calls for it. Go, Galactic! The Rangers charge forward and Leo is doing some slow motion fighting. Also, Mike is still fighting off Stingwingers, looking on at Leo. Proudly, I guess. Maya's also doing some cool moves, off the wall kicks. In fact, all the fighting here is really good. Leo takes on Skelecron again in Japanese footage and they hit each other back. The others cover him before they call for the Lights of Orion powering up. They do their power-up mode shtick, going through Skelecron, blowing him up immediately into a giant size. The Rangers are immediately in their Zords, forming the Galaxy Megazord, added the lights to it. They start sword fighting with Skelecron, who traps them in a mirror somehow, and it starts to crack. Mike is watching on, saying he has to do something. Meanwhile, at the dorm, the Magna Defender's sword starts rumbling. Mike sees a translucent Magna Defender who gives Mike his sword, teleporting it there, and gives him some wrist morpher. Mike will be the new Magna Defender, and the real Magna Defender and Zika disappear as a Torozord appears. Mike is like, alright, tossing his sword up. Magna power! He morphs into the Magna Defender, getting the sword. He calls for the Defender Torozord, getting back into the Torozord as a giant. Weird now that it's Mike, huh? He does his spin out attack, which is apparently called Lightning Spin, killing Skelecron. The Rangers are freed, and Leo's like, who is that? Leo, you're so fucking dumb. The Rangers meet up with Mike, and they realize he's the Magna Defender, and he says that this is his destiny. Damon then says that a condor is better than a bull, and Torozord yells at him, which is actually kind of funny. Meanwhile, Stanton is telling a board of directors about how they've traveled 5.6 light years from Earth, which feels like way too far to be real, and they have like fuel or whatever. They're in their target range, and he suggests that they maintain course and speed. They'll reevaluate when they enter the next galaxy. Then Mike walks in, and Stanton is shook. They shake hands, and he says, I thought we left you on the practice moon. And Mike can't really explain where he was, and the board president says, whatever, we're just glad to have you back. Is this bitch like secretly alpha? Stanton's like, alright, see you later, Mike, and then he smirks at the woman. Mike is also super excited to be back, I guess. The end. I mean, okay, this episode is a weak-ass ending, but beforehand, it gets pretty good. It shows how Leo is having a weird form of survivor's guilt where the person didn't even die now, but it makes sense. Also, Mike becoming the Magna Defender just kind of feels right for the show at this point, so I don't mind it, but we'll see how well they plan to utilize it moving forward. But seriously, that ending was cringe. I don't know why, but Mike as a character is kind of cringe to me, so maybe everything he does is like kind of bad? I don't know. So what's gonna happen next? Find out next time, but until then, may the power protect you.